Tink, 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 tink. Hello, everybody. Welcome to As If the Podcast with your host, Asia, my queen. That is I. That is me. I am who we be. So the other day, I changed my name on Instagram. It says Asia, my queen, and in parentheses, my real name. Let me explain why I did that. I did that because people like to get around me and start kind of clowning my queen, queen. Like, it's all in the tone. It is definitely on the tone. And I'm kind of like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Because even if I was calling myself queen and it wasn't my name, what are you trying to say? I just don't think they realize that. Well, I know that they don't realize that that's my real name. So you are making fun of my name. And it's irritating. I think it's irritating because it's been like so old, right? It's like such an old joke. I'm 27 years old. I have interacted with the public for 20 years, right? No. For 22 years since kindergarten. People have just been thinking that shit was funny and all that shit. And, you know, it was cute. It was funny for the moment. But now, like, making a mockery out of my name, it's just not funny. Like, I promise if it was funny, I would laugh. Because I don't mind a joke. I don't mind being the butt of the joke sometimes here and there. I don't mind that at all. But I just, not impressed. Not impressed. So, yeah, my real name is Asia, my queen. I am not trying to have people call me their queen just because, no, I'm not really trying to do that. But I think, the name is unique and it goes together very well and it is what it is, right? So, yeah. But yeah, indeed, it is my real name. So, if I don't laugh at your jokes, this is exactly why, right? That's it, right? And it's usually people that I meet in person. So I love that it's done in person, but it's just not funny. So if you see me straight face while you're just like, just know that that's why. Moving on. I'm not going to sing today. I think it's because no one could get in the way of what I'm feeling. No one. You like that? Could get in the way of what I feel for you. I love tricking you guys that way because you think you gonna get off by not hearing this voice, but you know what? I can sing. I don't give a fuck about the rain, 'cause I can sing. Wait, I think that's a new song. Oh, hold up. I'm about to have an album at this point. Anyways, moving on. How is everyone doing today? I'm doing well. I'm doing marvelous. Some things that are coming up, I've just been feeling really excited about them. I'm starting a new job next week. We're going to get into the whole spiel about my last job. I was going to say something. Oh my God, I was going to say something, but God has shined upon me. But, yeah, I'm going to start a new job on Monday. So today is Friday. So Monday I will be at a new job. Awesome. Great. What else? Oh, and there's something else that's coming up that I'm going to be doing, but I don't know if the company wants me to say anything. I usually don't say anything because that's better than like saying something and then it not happening or some shit, you know, or something coming up and it's like, ew, you lied. It's like, no, I lie about other shit. I don't lie about shit like this, but other shit I do lie about. There's a lot of things. Okay. I haven't gotten on here and lied, but in my personal life, oh my God, in my personal life, you know, sometimes, you know, you have to do what you have to do sometimes. Anyways, today we're going to talk about wasted time. I don't like to call time a waste. No matter what happened, I don't like to call time a waste because there's never such thing. Because when you go through something that's like annoying, it's not a waste of time because once you get to that other side or through that or whatever, you almost thank that moment for happening, even if it was kind of annoying or shitty or uncomfortable. There's really nothing that I've done fucked up that I'm like, never mind. That one, I can only think of one right now that I'm like, I still have not reaped any benefits from that. Like, I'm still cringing at that shit. But, woo. I would like to talk about how we get to wasted time. How we get to a position where we're like, that whole year was a waste of my black ass time. So I would like to talk about how we get there and the before, right? And what I see the before being is what we pay attention to. I came up with this idea because I was listening to a podcast called The Daily Stoic. So the episode is called Don't Let Your Attention Slide by Ryan Holiday. It's called The Daily Stoic. Ryan Holiday wrote Stillness is Key. And that book is bomb.com. Like, it's digestible. It's straight to the motherfucking point. And it'll really change your life. Like, for real, if you let it, it'll definitely do that. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm more patient about after reading that book. I need to actually give it another read. I like to give books about 2 reads, 2.5 maybe. That half exists because sometimes I'm like, okay, all right, I'm tired. Next book. But whatever. So, yeah. So the episode is called Don't Let Your Attention Slide. And he talked a lot about what we pay attention to and the distractions that come into our lives, and we allow it to distract us for X amount of time, and how that takes away from the time that you could be doing something that is meaningful to you. I know we get into this constant scrolling and then we look up and it's been like an hour, 2 hours, and we're like, I could have been doing something that is so much more important to me. And I'm not even saying productive. I'm trying to get out of that mindset where I don't attach my productivity to my value. So I just think just something more valuable, right? Like, or something that means more to you, right? So in that 2 hours, you could have been talking to your homegirl or talking to your homeboy, or I don't know, going to a party up the street, you know, something that means more to you. So you're not spending X amount of time, or you're not spending any time doing things that are so meaningless to you. Because if you keep carving out time throughout your day, throughout your life to meaningless shit, you start feeling like your life is meaningless. And that's just not the case. It's just the fact that you keep distracting yourself by doing shit that you don't really care about. And that's a mindset that I've been in for a few months now. Like, what do I truly care about versus what do I not care about? And I know society and social media likes to feed us with shit, and we think we should care about certain shit because that's what the masses care about. Like, I talked about this on a YouTube video, like probably like 3-4 videos ago, but I think sometimes we think we care about stuff just because everybody else cares about it. We don't really value designer, but everybody else cares about it, so I guess I need to get a bag. And I don't think that there's anything wrong. Like I said in the last video, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying designer if it means something to you. If designer really means something to you, then buy that. But if you are really buying things and spending time in places that mean nothing to you, then you're just going to be surrounded in meaningless shit, and you're really going to think that your life is not of value. And like, that's just the mindset that I have been in lately. Like, before I buy something or before I put my time into something, I really think about what I'm getting out of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I used to not do that because I thought that I was using things or using situations or using people. But at the same time, if things aren't of equal, if we're not equally getting something out of this situation, then I don't like to go to places where I'm the giver all the time. I don't like to be in spaces or do things where it's just me giving and me not feeling or getting anything back. So I really have been focusing on my time on what I really value, the things that I really want. If I just want something just a little bit, it's just an impulse real quick and I'll forget about it in a couple days or a couple hours, then I'm not going to get it, or I'm not going to spend my time on that, right? There's this interview of Drake that I really liked. Was it with Rap Radar? I don't know. Or was it, I don't know. Okay, anyway, sorry. He shared some advice that he got from his mom. She had told him, before you make a decision, wait 3 days. And I'm like, so I've been trying to do that. And what I've noticed is that there are certain things that I just really don't want, but my attention is being put on things that manipulate my feelings about other things, if that makes any sense, right? Like, I understand. I think we're all here to help each other, influence each other. We all, there's girls that have a cute outfit and you're like, oh, I want an outfit just like that. Da, da, da. I get that completely. But if it's something that really doesn't align with you, you just feel forced to be that kind of person or that kind of thing, you're slowly but surely losing yourself and getting further and further away from who you actually are. And sometimes we act like we're confused about who we are and our essence, but I don't believe that. I believe that we all know who we are and what we want. We're just afraid to do and be that. And also, and sometimes we don't take the time to really think about what and who we want to be. Or oftentimes we don't really listen enough to who and what we want to be. Like, when you take that time and you're really sitting down and you're like, all right, what the fuck? Where do I need to go? You gon' know what you want. Like, I never believe that people just don't know. I just don't think that we're taking the time to hear and listen to ourselves. That's my opinion, though. So, I say all that, like, there's a lot of things that I've had to change this year, and I've said this before, but I've never thought that I could be in this space right now. Never in a million years would I ever think that I would have left my job at this point in my life. Never, ever, ever, ever. Like, I'm telling you right now, I couldn't fathom that. If you guys are OG listeners, you guys have heard me record this podcast at work. Like, I've been at my job for a very, very, very long time, and it almost became my identity. It became how I interacted with the world. It showed me how the world interacts. It showed me a lot of things about people. It basically, my job raised me. And that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. Just like I've said this so many times, but I had been there since I was 19 years old. I am 27. I'm turning 27. So 8 years. 8 years I had been at this job, and I'm sure you guys can only imagine, like, this place raised me for sure, for sure, for sure. It showed me human interaction. It showed me how people could flip on you when they don't get what they want. It showed me how we can't talk to this person like we talk to this person, and the cues on when you need to lower your tone, maybe heighten your tone. It's ridiculous. So leaving this job is almost like moving out of your parents' house. Like 100%, 100%. But in my circumstance, it's moving out of your parents' house with nothing, with nowhere to go, blind to what's out there and who's out there and what the fuck is going on, but I know I gotta go. Like, that's what exactly it was. And leaving my job has helped me see myself again. Actually, let me take that back. Leaving my job has helped me see myself in general. Because like I said, I've been there since I was 19 years old. So I never got to see my personality, how I interact with people, how I feel comfortable with talking to people. It's crazy. And because I truly think that how we interact with each other, especially in spaces where we don't get what we want, is truly who we are. So when you see a customer flipping out on a cashier, popping off on them and shit, that's who they are. Because you aren't like, I don't believe people and their personalities when things are going completely right for them. I believe them based off their actions when they don't get what they want. That's just how I feel. Because it's like, if you're able to switch up that quickly just because you did not get what you want, it shows a lot about your character to me. I don't understand judging people off their mood when everything is going great. No. Let's throw some salt in it. Let's see how they react. And a lot of people aren't able to adjust to, and I'm saying this of all races, all ages, all genders, all that shit. A lot of people aren't able to adjust when things don't go their way. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Anyways, wow, I went on this whole rant that had nothing to do with the topic. I apologize, but it's true. It's true. This came from the heart, okay? So I had never experienced any type of mental illness, anything like that before I started working at my last job. It was a very high pace, very stressful moment job. Like the fact that this job wasn't my passion and so much shit was happening that was making me feel so uncomfortable is it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing because all the energy that I put into this fucking job, I'm like, yo, the fact that I hate it here and putting this much energy into it almost shows how I feel about myself, to be honest with you. And it also shows how I feel about life too, because I used to always think that I had to go through bullshit experiences to get to the other side. Like, hold on. You don't have to go through crazy dumb shit to get to where you want to be. Like, there are other options. Certain things are uncomfortable, certain things you don't want to do, right? You know how when you get up in the morning and you're supposed to go to the gym and you're like, oh my God, I do not want to do this shit today. I don't feel like it. But you need to go. You need to get up. You need to move your body. I'm talking about you're doing shit that is making you depressed, extremely anxious, having thoughts. You know what I'm talking about. You're having, those thoughts. You feel like you're living a meaningless life. And you're doing this every single day. Every day. And when you're not doing it, you're thinking about doing it. And every part of your life is about this job. Every part of your life is surrounded around going to work. And when you're working at a fucking job that you hate, bro, like, all I gotta say is I will never be in that situation again. I will never, ever go through that shit again. And I'm going to tell you even more why I'll never go through that shit again. I know a lot of us almost feel indebted to our job. Maybe we like our boss. Maybe we like our coworkers. And if we slack or if we leave or whatever, we feel like we're letting this person down if we call out, if we're not there and shit like that. A lot of us feel that way about our jobs. I understand that. But if this job is making you mentally unstable, you need to leave. You need to go. Especially when you're in a position, by the grace of God, where you are easily able to switch careers. Because so many of us have so much potential to do other things, but we feel so indebted to these jobs. And I wish we would realize that these jobs don't give a damn about us. They don't give a damn about us. Something happens to you to where they'll have someone the next day to replace you. I promise you that. Like I told you guys, I keep emphasizing how long I was at my job because how awful it ended. Like, I sat there and thought, I spent all this fucking time at this motherfucker and you guys are gonna do me like that? But you could only blame yourself. Like, who am I gonna blame? They didn't keep me there at gunpoint. I literally got to the point where I was living in autopilot. I didn't know whether I was coming or going for 5 years. Yeah. Like, I think I had been blacked out for about 3-4 years. Because I was going when it came to my job and trying to balance the podcast and this and that and that and that. And then when I got to this job, it was just so stressful sometimes. And it took so much energy out of me. And the time that I spent there would have felt a lot better if it had meaning. So I was going through a lot of depressive episodes because I did not think that my life had meaning because I was spending all my time at a place where I felt no meaning, and it was also super stressful sometimes. And then I spent 8 years doing that, and then I leave on a good note, the whole 2 weeks, still showing up, my full shifts. And they said that they couldn't give me my commission for that month. And when I tell you, it was pennies to what that company makes. Pennies. And that's just how it ended. Like, oh, we can't give you commission because you did not finish the next month. So basically how the commission worked, I'm sure you guys know if you guys work jobs that have commission, but you make a certain amount of money one month, and then at the end of the next month is when you receive that money, right? So my 2 weeks was the last half of 1 month. So I couldn't get the commission because I did not finish out that next month. But then I would have made money that month. And then, so no matter what, it would have been a lose-lose. Like, I was going to be losing something. So I just say, like, these businesses, these corporations, they don't give a fuck about you. So if you feel like you're putting too much effort into this place, and you also have options, because the thing is that I was there for a long time, and of course that looks good to a lot of people. So, and also I was able to build skills because I wasn't just sitting there the entire time. So I was able to get a job pretty easily. Like, it wasn't that much work to get a new job. And I think that if it's going to be easy for you to get another job, depending on the state that you live in, your occupation, what you're able to do, and all that shit. So it was easy for me to get another job. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to keep spending my time doing this shit. I'm not going to keep doing this. But we feel indebted to things. We feel indebted to people when we make a decision once. We feel like we cannot change our mind. No, we change as people. So if we feel like we're in a position where it is no longer serving us, we have a duty to ourselves to change that. Because let me just tell you this. If they wanted to switch up on you, they're going to switch up on you. You have a duty to yourself. You don't have a duty to any of these corporations. You don't have a duty to them. They're not your friend. They're not your homeboy. They're nothing like that. You're here to do a job. You exchange that. You exchange your time for this job. When it gets to the point where you're giving more than you're getting, it's time to get out. And I'm not saying just income-wise. I'm saying stress levels. I'm saying feelings of meaningless work, and putting your time in meaningless shit, and just doing all that. Like, it's really not worth it. I promise you, someone that's on the other side, and it's not like I'm balling and shit like that. I have no money. Okay. But what I do have is my fucking sanity. And working at this fucking job, I had no money and no sanity. Like, I was thinking, like, okay, girl, like, this job wasn't making you rich. Like, you were making decent money. You were okay. You were fine. And I'm okay, and I'm fine now. Emphasis on fine. Like, period. Like, so it's just like, okay, well, now look, you're happy. You're in a better mental state. And that is way more valuable to me than money. way more fucking valuable to me. And I'm just wanting to put my time into things that make me happy. Just because I did not like this job does not mean that someone else isn't going to like that job. It seemed like a few of my coworkers were so happy. I had one coworker look at me and go, I love this job so much. And I'm like, one, how? And two, I would hate to be someone that makes this job a living hell for somebody else, because I literally could not take being there. I couldn't do it. I would get up and I would pace. I would have so much anxiety. I couldn't talk sometimes. And it's like, this person's trying to, and this person is having a good time and all that. I'm just bringing bullshit and bad vibes and shit like that because I hate this place. It's like, it's time for you to get out because you're taking up space at this point. For real. For real. And honestly, this is the second time I had to make this decision. I was on a dance team years ago. I would say 4 or 5 years ago. And I just wasn't feeling where my life was going. And I had to look at what I was putting my time and my energy into and what aligned to who I was and who I wanted to be. And I'm like, yo, you're spending X amount of hours going to the studio and you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about if y'all win, if y'all lose, if the dance is good, if the dance is not good, what routine we're doing today. I didn't give a damn. I was just like, okay, well, I'm doing something with my life. So, like whatever. And I mean, to a certain extent, I guess it's good. Like, you're being productive in a way, but it's like that productivity is going to something that I did not give a fuck about. So I would show up to the studio all the time and I would ask some of the dancers what their passions were, and all of them said dance, something to do with dance. And that just wasn't mine. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I felt like at that point I was like, I'm in the way now. I'm not putting in as much effort because I don't want to be here. So I'm showing up and doing shit that I don't want to do. But like I said, I always felt like I had to struggle through a certain feeling to get to the promised land or to where I want to be and stuff. And it's just like, no. You don't have to do that. You don't have to dedicate your time to dumb, meaningless shit and shit that's dumb and meaningless to you. Like, dance practice and shit might not be dumb and meaningless to homegirl A, homegirl B, and homegirl C, but it's meaningless to me. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a lot more value in myself. And after I find more value in myself, I could look at my time as more valuable. I text the leader or whatever of the team because I called her. Good job, girl. Communication. I called her and I was shaking. I was in the stall at work, I think. Yep, at work. Another place I didn't want to fucking be. Wow, I spent so much time doing shit I did not want to do. Wow. So, I was in the bathroom at work and I called the head girl and I was like, I want to get off the team. I don't feel like this is something that I want to do anymore. And she wasn't trying to talk me out of it. She was just trying to talk me through it, like asking me if I'm sure and if I have other outlets and shit like that. So it was cool. She was cool with it. And I'm sure she could feel that I didn't really want to be there as well. And after then, I was able to carve out time to other things. I replaced that with more useless shit, but it's the act of actually doing that. Like the fact that I was able to say no more to this job, to that dance team, said a lot to me, because a lot of people like to preach that whole never quit, never quit. I think it's so good to know when to fucking quit and when your time has expired in a certain setting or in a certain person's life. Not being a quitter, I no longer feel like being a quitter as something that's bad. I'm a quitter. I'll tap out in a second. Like, period. If I don't want to do something, if I don't want to be somewhere, if I don't want to be around somebody, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Like the other day, this girl invited me somewhere. And I just like, no, I'm good. I didn't lie to her and say, oh no, my puppy died. Nope, I'm not going to lie to you about it. I'm just going to say no, because I don't want to go with you. And that's my decision. And I just hope that we are able to put more time in the things and people that we really want to put our time into, and try to limit the time that we have giving it to meaningless things. We know what's meaningless to us. We know what we don't care about. So just stop putting your energy towards it. I know the crowd, everybody thinks it's cool. So, you know, we're supposed to do this. We're supposed to do that. If you don't want to motherfucking do that, if it ain't fulfilling you, if it ain't filling you up, you have no place. You have no business being there or doing that. No business. Period. I talked a lot. This episode is going to be longer than most, it looks like. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what you're here for. You're here to hear me talk. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening. The podcast is posted everywhere where you could find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever podcast is at, you'll see me as if the podcast. On YouTube, watch me on YouTube. I'm here. Haha. That's it. I think we're going to wrap this shit up. Thank you guys again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.